Welcome back, guys. I'm covering static electricity question 21 to question 28, paper 2, 5054. Let's start. Question 21. A shoe becomes positively charged by friction when it rubs against a carpet. So the shoe becomes positively charged. What happens if the shoe becomes positively charged? Acha, in order for the shoe to become positively charged, it must lose its electrons because electrons are the negative particles. है ना? तो अगर इसने अपने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लूज कर दिए then the shoe will have 1 2 3 4 protons and 1 2 electrons, right? That means the shoe is positively charged, but in order for the shoe to become positively charged, the electrons must be transferred to the carpet. So let's see where that answer is. Negative electrons are transferred to the carpet. This seems like the right answer. Let's check. Question 21A. Yes. आगे देख लेते हैं 22. A polythene rod is charged by rubbing it with a cloth. It has been rubbed with a cloth और उसके बाद क्या हुआ है? The polythene rod is negatively charged while the cloth is positively charged. This is due to the the cloth losing its electrons. Electrons move from the cloth to the rod. This seems like the right answer again. These are two very similar questions. Yes. आगे देखते हैं. Question 23. A plastic block is rubbed with a silk handkerchief and the block becomes charged. What causes the block to become charged? A plastic block is rubbed with a silk handkerchief and the block becomes charged. What causes the block to become charged? Negative flow of electrons. Negative electrons flow from handkerchief and positive electrons flow from what is a positive electron? No. Straight up, no. Negative electrons flow from handkerchief to block. This looks like the right option. Positive electrons. There is no such thing as positive electrons. Question 24. A negatively charged rod is brought near an uncharged metal sphere on an insulating stand. So this is a negatively charged rod and brought near a it has been brought near a uncharged metal sphere. That means the amount of positive particles are equal to the amount of negative charges. Which diagram shows the charge distribution on the sphere? The negatively charged rod will attract the positive particles because जो negative होता है that attracts positive. Negative को attract नहीं करता, repel करता है. Positive को repel करता है. Like charges जो होते हैं they repel and different charges attract. So what will happen is, first of all, as I told you, they have the same amount of negative and positive particles. The second thing we have to check is which of the particles are being attracted towards the negative rod. It must be the positive particles that are attracted towards the negative rod because unlike charges जो होते हैं, they attract. And either negative के साथ हो रहा है, which is totally incorrect. So let's see. The diagram shows an uncharged ball coated with metallic paint. The ball is suspended from an insulating thread. It is placed near a positively charged rod. It is a positively charged rod and the ball is uncharged. Which diagram shows the charge distribution on the ball? अच्छा अभी आप pause करें and taking reference from the last question, solve this question yourself. 1 2 3 ओके आगे चलते हैं. आगे अब मैं आपको खुद समझा देता हूँ. तो what will happen is जो negative particles होंगे ना, they will come closer to the positive rod, while the positive charges, which are the like charges, they will repel, right? So that is what will happen. Let's check what the answer is. Answer, negative particles pass होंगे और positive वो करेंगे, repel करेंगे. Question 26. A polythene is a rod is rubbed with a cloth and the cloth become positively charged. Which statement describes the transfer of charge? Let's see. मुझे लगता है ये हमने अभी किया है. पॉलीथीन रॉड. छोड़ो फिर से कर लेते हैं. वैसे मैंने डायग्राम ही बनाया हुआ है. Let's see. A polythene rod is rubbed with a cloth and the cloth becomes positively charged. Which statement describes the transfer of charge? First of all, they have told us कि polythene rod है. ये rod है for example. That is the rod and that is the cloth. ठीक है ना? So what they have told us is the polythene rod is rubbed with the cloth and the cloth becomes positively charged. For the cloth to become positively charged, it must lose its electrons. So अगर इसने rub हुआ है साथ and the electrons, two electrons have been transferred to the rod. So let's see which answers coincide with the diagram. Negative charges are transferred from the cloth to the polythene from the transferred from the cloth to the polythene rod. This seems like the right answer. Yes, it is the right answer. Because as I just told you, for it to become positively charged, it must lose its electron. आगे चलते हैं. Question 27. A positively charged metal sphere is placed midway between two previously uncharged metal rods, one of which is connected to Earth. Which diagram shows the charges on the rod? अच्छा, firstly, let's look at A. A में हमारे दिखाया जा रहा है positive is attracted to positive, which is not right. अच्छा, B में हमें दिखाया जा रहा है positive is attracted to negative, ठीक है ना? And there is a positive charge on the left rod because initially uncharged metal rods है. Uncharged metal rods है ना? So the amount of positive particles must equal the amount of negative particles. That means the left rod will have a positive particles and negative particles. So the left rod must look like this. So it looks like B and C are the answer. It's one of them. ठीक है ना? B या C आंसर. आखिर अगला देखते हैं हम. बी में हमें नजर आई मीन सी में हमें नजर आ रहा है कि यहाँ पॉजिटिव है, यहाँ नेगेटिव है, यहाँ पॉजिटिव है और यहाँ नेगेटिव है. यहां से यहां तक बिल्कुल करेक्ट है. बट आफ्टर दैट इट बिकम्स अ बिट सस्पिशियस. आफ्टर दैट क्या हो रहा है? हमें नजर आ रहा है कि यहाँ एक पॉजिटिव पार्टिकल्स है. यहाँ पॉजिटिव पार्टिकल्स नहीं हो सकते ड्यू टू देयर बीइंग अर्थ. अर्थ क्या करेगा? इट विल ब्रिंग द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स अप. ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को ऊपर लेके आएगा एंड द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स which will travel up the wire will cancel out the positive particles. They will cancel out the positive particles. So that leaves us with B. तो यहाँ basically क्या होगा? मैं आपको एक दफा एग्जांपल दे देता हूँ. अच्छा, फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ है पॉजिटिव पार्टिकल्स. आई नो यू डोंट गेट इट येट बट यू श्योर विल. अच्छा ठीक है, यहाँ पॉजिटिव पार्टिकल्स. इन ऑर्डर टू पॉजिटिव पार्टिकल से क्या होगा? अर्थ फायर के अंदर से नेगेटिव पार्टिकल्स आएंगे, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आएंगे और जो वो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इधर आएंगे they will cancel out the positive charge with them. ठीक है ना? So that will leave us with B as the answer. ठीक है ना? So that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Allah Hafiz.